These animals defend themselves in ways that should be physically impossible or biologically implausible. Every mechanism on this list was disputed by researchers before the footage confirmed it. Bombardier beetles, genus Brachinus, produce a boiling chemical explosion inside a specialized chamber in their abdomen and fire it at predators in a pulsed jet reaching 100 degrees Celsius, the boiling point of water. Two reactants stored separately, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide, mix in an explosion chamber containing catalytic enzymes, producing an exothermic reaction so rapid it produces steam. The jet fires at a rate of up to 500 pulses per second, each pulse lasting microseconds, producing a rapid-fire chemical machine gun audible as a distinct popping sound. The pulsed mechanism prevents the beetle from cooking itself. A continuous reaction would destroy the chamber. The internal pressure generated has been measured at sufficient force to propel the spray 30 centimeters. The Malaysian exploding ant, Campanota saundersii, can voluntarily rupture its own body, spraying a toxic adhesive from glands running the length of its abdomen onto attackers. The behavior is always fatal to the ant and is performed by specific miner workers. Other cast members do not autophasis. When threat stimuli reach a threshold, the ant contracts its muscles until its cuticle tears, propelling the sticky venom up to 15 centimeters. The substance immobilizes or kills small arthropods on contact and has been documented successfully stopping fire ant attacks on the colony. No survival benefit to the individual exists. The mechanism is selected entirely at the colony level. The hairy frog, Trichobatrachus robustus, of Central Africa actively breaks its own toe bones when threatened, then uses muscular contraction to push the bone shard through the skin as a claw. The claws retract, or are reabsorbed, after the threat passes. The mechanism involves no keratin, the material standard claws are made of, and requires the frog to voluntarily fracture its own skeleton as a defensive act. The wounds have been documented healing without permanent damage. No other tetrapod is known to use broken bones as weapons in this way. The mechanism was first described formally in 2008. Prior to publication, reports of this behavior were dismissed by researchers who had not observed it directly. The Iberian ribbed newt, Pleurodales waltl, pushes its ribs outward through the skin of its flanks, allowing the rib tips to protrude as spines. As they penetrate the skin, they collect skin secretions containing the newt's toxic granular gland output, effectively coating themselves in poison. The skin has no permanent openings. It is simply pierced each time by the rib tips and seals afterward. The spine angle can be adjusted to maximize penetration of a predator's mouth. The newt can repeat this process after healing. This is the only vertebrate known to use its own skeletal elements as external weapons while remaining alive. Hagfish, Myxinidae, produce slime, a fibrous gel that, on contact with seawater, expands to roughly 10,000 times its original volume within 400 milliseconds. When a predator seizes a hagfish in its mouth, the slime coats the predator's gills, forcing it to abandon the attack to avoid suffocation. The slime threads are composed of protein fibers finer than spider silk that can stretch to 5 times their length before breaking, giving the material extraordinary toughness. Hagfish produce the slime from over 100 glands along both sides of their body and can release the full volume of all glands simultaneously. They escape from their own slime by tying themselves in a knot and pulling their body through it. Pistol shrimp, family Alphiidae, close their specialized snapping claw so rapidly that the water pressure differential creates a cavitation bubble. When this bubble collapses, it generates temperatures briefly reaching the surface temperature of the sun, approximately 5,500 degrees Celsius, a flash of light, and a sound pulse exceeding 210 decibels at the source, louder than a gunshot at close range. The prey animal targeted by this event is killed or stunned not by physical contact but by the shockwave of the collapsing bubble. In aggregations, colonies of pistol shrimp generate sufficient noise to interfere with submarine sonar. The shrimp regrows its snapping claw if it loses it, and the replacement claw develops snapping capability, while the original claw grows back as a non-snapping pincer. The mimic octopus, Octopus mimicus, impersonates other animals with distinct morphology and behavior. Documented imitations include flatfish. The octopus flattens itself and undulates its arms. Lionfish, It spreads its arms and jets slowly with color changes matching lionfish stripes, and sea snakes, it retreats into a crevice, leaving two arms extended in opposite directions at angles matching a banded sea snake's posture. The selection of which animal to mimic appears contextual. In documented encounters with damselfish attacks, the octopus preferentially adopted sea snake posture, as sea snakes are specific damselfish predators. This is the only animal known to actively select between multiple impersonation targets based on the identity of the specific predator threatening it. The horned lizard of North America, genus Phrynosoma, can redirect blood flow to rupture vessels around the eyelid and project a jet of blood from the eye, accurately directed at predators up to 1.5 meters away. The blood contains chemicals from the lizard's own body that are specifically repellent to canid predators. Coyotes, wolves, and foxes show avoidance responses to the blood, while birds do not. This means the mechanism is not simply a deterrent but a targeted counter-defense against specific predators. The lizard can expel up to a third of its total blood volume in this way and recovers the volume within several weeks. The spitting spider, Cytodes thoracica, spits a venomous adhesive web from its fangs at prey, pinning it to the surface before making contact. The silk venom mixture is produced by modified venom glands in the cephalothorax that operate simultaneously as web spinners, and is ejected in a zigzag pattern by oscillation of the chelicerae during the spit. The entire process, detection, spit, and pinning, takes 28 milliseconds. The spider can achieve this from a distance 3 times its own body length, allowing it to capture prey larger than itself without entering striking range. It hunts other spiders, including species significantly more venomous than itself, using this standoff attack. 9 defense mechanisms. 9 animals that fight back in ways no engineer would have predicted and no biologist initially believed. Tomorrow's animal has been hiding an ability nobody expected was possible. This channel posts a new animal fact video every day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.